We're making folded Christmas tree cards today, and I got a template. Come on in. Hello everybody, it's Julia Laird with Senior Susie Stamps, and today I wanted to show you my little template and show you how to make one for making a folded Christmas tree. This was around several years ago, and it's important to have these little things in our toolbox when we're looking at using scraps. And this uses, as you can see, a nice sized scrap. It's about 5 1/4 by a little bit less than 3. So let's get started and I'll show you. What I used was a 5 1/4 inch circle, and I used my lid to my candle here originally to make my little circle. You could use a coffee can, you could use a circle cutter, you could use a big circle die, and that would be fine. But what I used was just that little wooden lid for my scented candle there. And then I folded it in half and cut it. And I cut a piece out of a nice piece of chipboard so that I could have a good structure, because you have to draw your circle around this for every one of the trees that you're going to make. Now, what I did was to take a 3-inch square and cut it on the diagonal. And that makes this side and that side the same, which is an isosceles triangle. So this angle and this angle are both 45 degrees, and this is a 90. That's important because of the way you want your folds to go. And then I use my ruler and measure down 1 1/4 inches and make a little tick mark. And that is where I start my angles. So then I'll draw my line, and I've got them drawn over here on this side. You probably just may have a little trouble seeing my pencil because I didn't make it super dark. But you just draw your line, move it down, draw your line, move it down, and draw your third line. So that means that you have all 3 of your fold lines, and then you fold it back and forth in a concertina or accordion fold so that you have your Christmas tree like this. They're simple. Make yourself one of these, put it in your stash, and when you're doing Christmas cards, make a few of these every year. It uses up some nice scraps. And let me show you the cards that I made for examples for today. I've got 3 examples made, and one is white on white with, and this paper is not Christmas paper, it's just some paper that I had that I wanted to get used up. There's the first one. Here's the second one. Now, I did use an embossing folder back for both of these 2 cards, and on this one I just drug some pink ink on there. I folded this one a little narrower because I wanted to try it and see. It works fine. You'll notice now that I used some pinking shears on this one when I cut it, and I used some of my little decorative scissors on this one when I cut it. I also put a little glitter. I hope it shows up on the camera there. And then this is the last one, and none of this paper is Christmas paper. This one I just put a little edge around. I wasn't real happy with that background. I wish I had embossed it, but the card's done. I am going to use it, and it just has a simple little sentiment on the inside of all 3 of these. Now, I've gone ahead and done a lot of prep work on these cards today. So let's get started. I did another, a different embossing folder this time, and I went ahead and drug some pink pirouette, and I just very gently took my ink pad and drug it across my embossing folder, and that colored the top of the embossed image then. And I'm going to put this down on a top folding card. I've got some foam tape already on the back of that. These are easy cards to make. They use a nice scrap of paper, and you can use, as I did on the yellow card, I used a scrap here for the back as well. And so you can use your scrap for your layer as well as your Christmas tree. This is 3 3/4 by 5. And so you have a little bit larger border around it. And with that foam elevation, it gives it some really nice structure. Now I've gone ahead and folded this one, but let me show you how I did it. I took my template and folded it down like this, and then I put my paper, and you'll see I've got a little decorative edge cut there. I took my paper then and laid my template right on top of it and made my first fold, right like that. And then all you need to do is to fold back against your folds. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to put a little glue on this on both sides, just on the areas that I need it. So it's 3 pieces that need to be glued down. I have a little Merry Christmas sentiment already stamped, and it has a little bit of an angle on the Y. So what I wanted to do was kind of marry the tree angle with the Y angle. I hope that makes sense. And you're right. So I'm going to glue this down flat, and I'm going to use some art glitter glue on that. I'm going to bring it all the way over to the edge of the card just for a little item of interest, nothing else. So I hear Lily Mae barking downstairs. Let me go get her, otherwise she'll wear us out. Okay, and then I have cut just a little scrap of brown for the trunk, and I'm going to set my tree in. And I just want this Y, the angle on the Y and the angle on the tree, to kind of be parallel. So, and I want my trunk to kind of be in the center of my tree. So before I glue the tree down, I'm going to glue the trunk down. And then, looks like it's right up here on this line right there. So I'm going to put my trunk down here. And I'm going to let it hang off the edge just a little bit. And I'm going to glue my tree down. And there we go. I have a gold star somewhere here. You know how things grow legs. Ooh, I've had an embossing folder grow legs since in the last week that I just used the other day. That's very aggravating. It's one of my favorite embossing folders for Christmas. And so now I'm on the hunt for that. It's just crazy. I've got a little piece of foam tape here that's just a little bit too big for my star. There we go. Now I have some pink gems that I thought might be nice. And I need to decide whether I want bright pink or kind of a muted pink, because there's a couple of pinks going on here already. I kind of like those bright colored ones. Yep, I kind of like those. Alright, that's what we're going with. Now you can put gems here. I did that on one of these other cards. Let me show you. See here? And that's really pretty the way that looks on the tree, but I didn't want to put any other snowflakes on this since I had the embossed part here, so I'm just going to use these gems out in the snow. I also have a little stocking that I used that pink pirouette to colorize. I just cut it in white and then colorized it the same pink. So we're going to put it on the inside. I've already gone ahead and stamped my sentiment, but I have a strip of this green, and I have this cute little stocking that I thought I would use for an embellishment on the inside of this card. And it says, "May Christmas fill your heart with warm and friendly light." I thought that was a sweet little sentiment. So I'm going to put this in down that way. Since I got my hearts cut going up and down. Normally on these top fold cards, I put my strip down at the bottom, and don't ask me why. I just do. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that I do. And then on the side fold cards, I do them the other way, so there's no rhyme or reason for it. I'm going to trim this off. And then I think I'm going to try to hang my little stocking here somewhere. Maybe over here would be a good idea. Just put a little glue down. This is an old cutting die that I got years ago from paperwishes.com. And there we go. That card's done. I might put a little tiny pink gem in there. What do you think? I think it needs it. There. So there's the first card. Now let me show you on this next card what I've got. I did the same type of thing. I did my embossed folder, and this is Tempting Turquoise ink, and I have a cut piece that I used a decorative edge scissor on. I have a little sentiment, and I don't know if I'm going to put that up on foam or not, but I did put a little bit of glitter pen inside the Merry Christmas. That stamp has a little extra spot where you can draw in. Now on these, I'll put these on the ink pad and colorize the glitter that's on them. And I don't know if you can see that, probably can't, but the glitter on these is kind of an iridescent blue, so it goes with that color. I have a little package for the inside that I did the same way. I have a strip for the inside, and I'm going to cut myself just a little tree trunk for this Christmas tree. And they don't have to be any specific measurement. Just cut you a piece of brown paper and you'll be good. And I have a little gold star. Now let's start at the beginning on folding this tree so that y'all can see a little better what I was talking about. Now first of all, you need to decide which part you want your bottom to be. If you want it to be this side or this side. I'm going to start over here on this side. I'm going to bend my template down. You could draw your lines and everything on your folded paper, but if you do it this way, it works just as well. All you do is just give yourself a little fold to start, and then burnish that down easily, because this little designer paper can tear kind of easy. And then you're just going to fold back on those lines, and essentially you're going to end up with the same thing that you have over here because it's a 45-degree angle fold for all of these. There we go. Now I'm going to put my glue down, 2 on one side and 1 on the other. I think I'm going to adhere this piece flat on this card and elevate my Christmas tree. It's a little different than we did on the other card. And when I do an embossed piece like this with my ATG, I always put extra ATG down because you don't have a lot of surface area that you're gluing, and you want to make sure whatever you do glue hooks well with what you're gluing it to. Again, I'm going to leave just a little extra border because this piece is cut 3 3/4 by, 3 3/4 by 5. That's right. Yeah. And rub it from this side. Now then, got my little Merry Christmas. And I think I'll put that one up at the top. And I'm going to put it up on some foam tape as well. Let me get my foam tape. What did I do with it? I've been using so many supplies making Christmas cards. I have run short of my foam tape that I put on my release paper. So we're doing the old-fashioned foam tape today. And it gums up my scissors when I do it this way, and I don't particularly like that, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. There we go. And then I'm going to put some on the back of my little tree. I'm going to cut a real narrow little strip to come down from the point, right like that. And then I'm going to cut a wider strip for the bottom and one up in here, and that's good enough. That's all we need. So I hope you all have got some decorative scissors. If you don't, just use regular scissors and cut it. No, don't worry about that now. I think I'll get my, yeah, I think I'll put this down first. Mark where I need it. Yep, I think right there. And I want to make sure I'm running up in a straight line there. I'm going to put my little star up on another tiny little piece of tape. And then we'll see if we can use these little snowflakes on the front. I still have the snowflakes on the backer that they came on. Well, I kind of like those and I kind of don't. Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, when I'm in that situation, I'll leave it. And so that's what I'm going to do right now, and we'll come back and revisit those in a minute and see what we think. So I've got my same stamp on the inside. I'm going to put my little strip down here and use it to anchor my little present that I've got with the turquoise blue. Tempting Turquoise, I think it's called. I got that stamp pad used from eBay, and I love this color. I think it's so pretty, and I was tickled to get it. And I found a re-inker also, so that was a big plus. It doesn't bother me to buy used ink pads as long as I can get colors that I can find re-inkers for, or they're a color that I can use a different ink over top of. So let's put our little present down. Yep, I think that's going to be fine, right like that. This little die cut came out of that same little set that I got from Paper Wishes several years ago. And I just think they're little cute presents. Okay, now let's just see. I'm hesitating on this. I kind of like that. They're a little big, but I'm going to go with it, I think. And now I'm going to put some blue glitter, I think, on this tree. We'll do that one and cut it off on that side. Yeah. And then do this one, and you'll notice now that I'm breaking the edge line here of this embossed piece with my little embellishment there. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now I have some blue glitter, and it's one of the Sargents, and it has a little turquoise color to it. This came in a set from Amazon. I got it several years ago, but they are still available. Just search for Sargent washable glitter glue. I always try on my glitter glue to do a little pre-squirt, if you will, because sometimes it comes out in a gunk and you just don't want that on your stuff. And then this kind of ends up being a real pretty little blue garland on your Christmas tree. And it doesn't have to be a solid line. There we go. And that'll dry and it'll be really pretty by the time it's all said and done. So here's the card we just finished. I'm going to set that aside so that I don't get my fingers in it. You know how I am. Here's the one we made a minute ago. And then these are the other. I thought there was another one. Where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. Sorry. Yeah. I kind of like this narrower one. Now, you've got 3 folds at the 45, and of course if you make them smaller, you may end up with a little residual right here that you either have to just live with or cut off or something. This is a piece of pink tissue paper that I made that snow out of, and I dipped these little snowflakes into the pink pirouette, so they have a kind of a pink sheen, which I know you can't see, and I think they turned out really pretty. So if you have a favorite one out of all of them, and I'm going to try not to touch that one, but let me know which one it is, and make yourself a template now. They're easy to do, and then just keep it in your little Christmas tree drawer and pull it out and make you some cards once in a while. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great week, y'all. Bye-bye.